How do you know when that vegan teacher is lying? Well, it's simple. Her mouth is open because everything that she says is pretty much a bullshit lie. So yeah, you never really have to question it. I mean, I've talked about numerous claims that she's made over the last year or so that have been blatant bullshit lies. And it doesn't seem like that trend is going anywhere anytime soon. In fact, when she was put on the spot, a Q&A session where you're supposed to give honest answers, there wasn't a single honest answer detected, at least as far as I know. I only watched a little bit of it to kind of get the gist of what was going on. But literally the first 3 questions she was asked, she responded with propaganda bullshit. I mean, just as you'd expect. I mean, you can't fault her for being consistent. But anyway, she was doing an interview, like a digital interview with the brutal vegan, yeah, that complete and utter loser. Somebody who is an absolute fart sniffer for vegan teacher. He's always in her comments, hyping her up, like gassing her up, like she deserves that or something. I don't know. I don't know where this man's mind has gone, but it is no longer with us. He is in some delusional fantasy world where a vegan teacher is some kind of superhero sent to save the entire world and all the animals and everything, when we all know that could not be further from the truth. Anyway, let's get into it, shall we?
Hello, Miss Katie. Millions of people know you and keep asking the same questions. Here are 9 of the most frequently asked questions.
Okay.
First question. Were you fired as a teacher?
No, I was never fired. In fact, I was pretty proud of the work that I did as a teacher. A lot of students became vegan because of me.
She's a liar. You see that? Her mouth was open and she was lying. I can't say without a shadow of a doubt that she was or wasn't fired, though I'm pretty confident she likely was. I mean, if she really thinks she converted young children to being vegan, that's not a part of the school curriculum. Vegan conversion class is not a part of the curriculum. If you were doing that, you were effectively pushing your lifestyle beliefs onto children, which is not something that you can do in an elementary school classroom, especially not as like an English as a second language teacher. I mean, what are you doing? So hey, that sounds like a bold-faced lie to me. You weren't converting anybody. And if you were, I feel so bad for those children to have to deal with your torment. Can you imagine vegan teacher doing what she does to us now, right? Like people on the internet, adults, etc. You know, all the horrendous things she's done, and then doing that to children in a classroom. Yeah, no, that is horrifying. No wonder she was most likely let go as a teacher. Let's be honest. She's lying.
Are you a racist?
Also, she loves teaching, right? That's why she started up that channel again, Miss Katie, the English teacher account. She went back to that account and started reposting old videos of children on it. She loves being a teacher. I doubt she would have quit voluntarily. And actually, come to think of it, she's still teaching now, but only doing like tutoring or something like that, like little lessons for small groups of children.
No. Why would anyone want to be a racist? Why would you want to judge somebody just by the way somebody looks? That's the...
Excuse me? Hello? Those of you who've been watching my channels for some time probably know that she has done this to me many times, actually. Saying, the dark-skinned person referring to me.
Video is for Curl King, a dark-skinned man.
Saying that all my followers are young black men, I guess. I don't know how she came to that conclusion. Putting me in a thumbnail wearing dunce caps to look like some sort of KKK rally gone wrong. The video about the black doll, who she referred to as an Nigger.
Does this girl seem to you like she might be naturally intelligent, gorgeous, generous, exemplary, and radiant? She looks like she could be that to me.
Yeah. And then she also said that she was trying to protect her half-black granddaughter from racism. And she lied about even having a half-black granddaughter. She has a granddaughter, and they are fully white. So yeah, come again with how you're not racist.
The problem with society right now, they judge animals just by the way that they look. They eat some, and they love others, and that's wrong. Speciesism,
and the way they taste,
is the first form of racism.
Many other things
All
too.
of it is wrong.
Are you homophobic or transphobic?
No, I don't believe in that stuff. I don't understand why anybody would not want another person to love whoever they want to love. I don't get it. If you're a man and you want to hold hands with a man, why would anybody care? Or a woman who wants to hold
She's lying. She's literally both of those things.
hands with a woman. I also understand bisexuality, being attracted to both genders. I am actually bisexual, but I don't act on it because I also believe in monogamy. As far as trans people go, well, I think people should be able to wear whatever they want as long as they're not hurting anybody. But I have spoken out against people who mutilate themselves in all kinds of different ways. Anorexic people or people who are obese.
Did she just say anorexic people? Lady, I mean, not to, simplify any sort of thing like this, but she talks about how she thinks she's overweight. Guys, we've all seen what she looks like, and she tells everybody that she thinks she's overweight. Is she projecting here? Because that is a concern.
I've said it's not healthy. I've also said that I don't think it's right.
It's not.
To give children hormones. I don't think that's okay. I think we should be waiting till they're 18. And I don't know what else to say on the subject. I mean, if a guy wants to wear a pink skirt or whatever, like, who cares? As long as they're not hurting anyone else. But I do also feel that it is a bit bizarre.
She's 60 years old, by the way. She's 60 years old, by the way.
When somebody wants to have a full-out beard and also boobs, and sometimes it seems to cross a line where it seems narcissistic, like they're not actually doing it because they're suffering, but more that they're just trying to draw attention to themselves. But hey, that's just where I'm at. I do know people who are trans and they really want to integrate, and to me that makes more sense. I can understand that, because they sort of wear the same clothes, they just want to blend in, they don't want to make it
really
their whole personality.
About this one.
So that's where I stand on that subject. Oh, I should also say that I'm also not a fan of people who wear a whole ton of makeup, fake nails.
All right, she's trying to justify not being trans. I think it's interesting that she's hung up on this one for so long. It's like she's like trying to scramble to explain herself. I don't think she believes what she thinks she believes. I mean, I'm not going to straight up say that she's likely a transphobe, but let's be honest. It's just another thing to add to the list.
Fake hair, wigs, big high heels, glitter, glamour. Like, I'm not comfortable with clowns or anybody else who just...
I'm kind of over this one. She's not comfortable with clowns. No wonder she's not particularly comfortable with herself.
Some people say you're too extreme and make them not want to be vegan.
I don't think it's extreme if we see somebody suffering. If somebody was kicking a cat and I would defend the cat, nobody would think that's extreme. If somebody was hurting a dog and I was defending the dog, nobody would say that's extreme. If I'm defending pigs, chickens, cows.
But here's the thing. Here's the problem, right? Let's talk about this for a minute. This is a really good talking point, right? People bringing up to her, hey, you're too extreme. The things that you do are crazy. You're actually pushing people away from veganism. Now, she doesn't ever acknowledge the fact that she is pushing away from veganism. She just says, no, it's not extreme. I'm defending the not extreme part because she's a narcissist, right? But here's the thing. If your whole existence is based on reducing animal exploitation, helping animals, etc., then you would want to do anything in your power to achieve that goal, correct? Well, if you know that this extremism that you're doing, whether you view it as extremism or not, other people see it that way and it pushes them away from veganism. Wouldn't you want to then squash that entirely and completely rethink the way you approach your activism, etc.? But she doesn't, because it has nothing to do with animals at all. In fact, it's completely about moral superiority and being better than other people. That's why she does this. She compares people to the worst of the worst. She compares you to Adolf Hitler. She compares you to rapists. She compares you to child predators. She compares you to all of these different things because it makes her feel superior. She's like, well, I'm vegan and I'm not these things, but because you're not vegan, you're like these things, so I'm better than you. That's what it's about. And the animals are not even second, not even third, not even fourth. They're almost not even relevant at all to these pushes, because she's acknowledged time and time again from her comments, etc., people being like, hey, because you said this, I'm actually going to get twice as much steak. In other words, harm even more animals. Because think about it. If every time somebody was impacted this way when they saw a vegan teacher video where they're actually like, I want to be less sensitive to animals, then you know that what you're doing is actually a detriment to the cause of, quote unquote, helping the animals and saving them from exploitation. Yet she has refused to change her tactics and do something better. I mean, she's tried like the music angle and stuff like that. Recently, she's done like slightly less firebrand style videos, but even then, she's still singing the same old song and dance. If you're not vegan, you're an animal abuser sort of thing. I mean, oh, that's mostly Tosh Peterson rhetoric, but she uses the same thing too, just slightly different wording.
Turkeys, lambs, fish, why would that be considered to be extreme? It's not. People just don't like the fact that we hold a moral mirror up to them.
See? There you go. It's the moral superiority. See the way she smirks when she says that? They just don't like it when we put a moral mirror. See? It's all in that statement right there. It's in the tone. It's in that little smirk. It's because she knows like, oh yeah, I'm vegan, so I'm the morally superior person. You see, they just don't want to face their morality. It's not about that, right? You should just be doing whatever it takes to help animals, not to make yourself feel morally superior or make other people feel morally inferior. Yet that's what they're always focused on, and it's disgusting, honestly. Like, because the truth is, I mean, there is a lot that could be done to help animals in the farming industries, etc. And it's sad to see that those spearheading the vegan movement really only care about their own moral righteousness over others. It's pretty pathetic. It's probably the biggest joke of like any movement I've ever seen in my lifetime. It is an absolute laughing stock because of people like this.
In terms of people who know me and appreciate my work, well, I say to them, thank you. Thank you very much for paying attention. Thank you for seeing my heart. Thank you for seeing how hard I try to save the animals. Thank you for understanding my ups and downs, why we eat those and we save the animals.
You say words shouldn't be banned and you never use the N-word, but isn't that like banning it yourself?
You know, that's a really interesting point.
What do you mean?
Because I don't believe in banning words. I think if we ban words, we ban thinking.
I've heard her use it.
And that's not okay. The word that you're referring to, I don't think it's nuts and I don't think it's nectarines. I think...
What? I don't think it's nice. Dude, she literally had a video where she listed out the word as an acronym, and the first word she put was like nice. It was like nice, intelligent, generous, gorgeous, exemplary, and radiant. I don't think it's a nice word. But then the whole time she's fighting the fight of, oh, well, we should change the meaning of it to be a good, nice word, and that's why I use it. She literally said that. If you don't believe me, I mean, I've got videos on it, and you might want to go take a look at those. But it's, wow. I can't believe the copium coming out of her mouth right now. This is shocking. And yeah, she cannot defend using the N-word. She says, well, he's saying that she doesn't use it. Yes, she does. I've literally heard her use it on live. She's done it in videos. It's like, I've counted at least like 6 times that she's done it. And if you've haven't seen my downfall of vegan teacher video, all of that stuff is in there. So it's a good place to go and see all of that, amongst a bunch of other ridiculous things she's done. Video should be up there if you want to see it. Let's see what else she has to say.
Probably referring to the other N-word that nobody's allowed to say. I have no problem saying it in context. I think what's important is not to call anybody that word, because that would be cruel, that would be racist. I don't think it should be banned from any textbooks or any dictionaries. And I do see people using it, which I find fascinating. People have called me that word multiple times on live streams. So I think the word has changed its meaning now, because clearly I am not a Negro person. I don't have dark skin. So maybe the word has evolved now to mean just somebody that they don't like. I don't know. But I invented an acronym to help people in case they do feel bad when somebody calls them that. What they could think instead is that it means naturally intelligent, gorgeous, generous, exemplary and radiant. So if somebody says it to them, rather than getting upset and angry and causing a fuss and victimizing yourself, you could just simply say,
just normalize it.
Thanks for the compliment.
Yeah,
Which
great
is what
idea.
I do on my live streams.
That's called being delusional. Like, what the fuck? That's synonymous with being delusional. Being like, somebody is insulting you, and then you do these mental gymnastics to actually convince yourself that they're calling you all these great things. Oh, thank you. That's what a narcissist does. That's why that's her advice. Her advice is like, be a narcissist like me. When everybody insults you or they express their hatred towards you, they call you a slur, derogatory name, just be like, oh, thank you. I know I'm awesome. That is narcissism training. I didn't even know you could do that, but that's what she's trying to do. Like, basically encode this artificial response to negativity, which is really silly, because what does that do besides normalize people being called this in derogatory and hateful ways? You know, like imagine that, like a bunch of these assholes is going around dropping that word and calling everybody of that race, you know, that word, and they're just like, okay, that's fine, like sort of thing. Like it just doesn't work that way. I mean, it enables additional hatred. You know, if the word feels taboo, it's not banned, but it feels taboo because of the implications of it. People are less inclined to say it, not because they literally can't, so they're going to get arrested, you know, if they say it. It's because, like, they know that it's a hurtful word and that the community affected by it would prefer people don't spread that hatred to them.
Which is what I do on my live streams.
And now a very important question. Why are you eating the animals' food?
Oh, I love that question.
I
It's
am
going
not
on a
eating
shirt,
the
by the
animals'
way.
food. There's plenty of food for
I mentioned earlier, I know, sorry, important. I mentioned earlier that I have some limited edition merch. Plus, I think I got one thing out there right now that's not limited, but in the future, not sure when exactly. I already have the design for it, it's been made. But there's actually going to be a shirt that has that quote along with some imagery to go along with it. The if you love animals so much, why do you eat all their food? I love that shit. It's so funny to me.
I'm not eating my husband's portion, just as he's not eating my portion. If I'm eating food, I'm not eating the animals' food. They
Yeah,
have
you
their
are.
food, we have our food.
Nah, you're eating their
It's a
food, bro.
bizarre thing that people say. People
Think about it this way. Let me explain, actually. This will be the last one. So, in fact, you technically are eating their food in a way. Now, let me explain. So, like, when farmers grow crops, they have to protect those crops from the animals that want to eat them. They also take up that land that the animals originally used, where their food originally grew. Now, instead of the animals being able to get access to that food, they are being killed by pesticides, farm equipment, etc., because, you know, we got to protect that food. And that very food goes into her wrinkly vegan mouth. So in other words, you could argue technically she is eating the animal's foods. Now, even consider things like wild boar, right? Wild boar are often culled by the thousands to protect crops, because if they weren't, then a lot of that vegan food that she loves so much would also be eaten by them. So in a way, that is the boar's food, right? It's out in the wild, it's out in nature, it's being grown. Obviously, we harvest that stuff and we grow it, so it's, you know, for us. But that land, as vegans would definitely consider it to be theirs, the wild boar, etc. You know, they live there, they should be able to eat their food there, right? Well, they can't, because we bring in this heavy farm equipment and we take over the land and we grow the crops. We effectively take the food right out of that boar's mouth, or we kill them, or we kill the boar so that you can have your potatoes and your corn and your squash and all that stuff. We kill the boar so that you can have your vegan food. So I know it's kind of more of a silly question. It's not like a very serious one, but it's always one that makes me laugh and be like, yeah, I know, right? Actually, it's kind of like almost a purposeful question. Like it almost actually means something in a way, if you really think, you know, deeply about it. Obviously, most people, the way they mean it, it's like because you're eating, you know, plants and stuff, and plants belong to the animals, I guess. You know, like in that shallow interpretation, you get the response from like vegan teachers, which is like, well, I don't. We have our food and they have their food, sort of thing. But it's like in order for you to get your food, lots and lots of animals have to die because they want that food. But there's pesticides and things like that that kill them, that prevent them from getting it. For those animals, is it really that they have their food and we have our food? They don't see it that way. Food is food. To them, that is their food, and they can't get it because the pesticides and the farm equipment kills them. But anyway, that's really it for this video. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. If you did enjoy, feel free to like and subscribe button. Till next time.